Can we please have some damn humility in the science space? Seriously, all I see online, and this is not with respect to one side alone. This is multiple sides, and I don't like denigrating all sides. I mean, we all pick a side and we like to be tribal and all that stuff. And I'm a human, so I also have the same proclivities. But we have to take some responsibility and we have to point fingers at people. And, we have a responsibility to help them up in a way by using constructive criticism. This might sound destructive, not constructive, but it needs to be said in this way. I need to get people's attention. Okay. You cannot be depending on human nutrition science and any of this inferential statistics stuff to make the inferences that are made in the nutrition space in the first place, in the health space. I'm sorry. As much as you might want to extrapolate the results to an entire population of people, the population concerned being a hypothetical population, which is why you calculate a standard error in the first place, and you calculate a t-distribution and all this other stuff and all this technical jargon, okay, because you can't inform upon the population of people in the entire human nutrition science space. And the main point of this, to say all this, okay, because I've done rants on this before. This will be the third video, if I just make it just about that I've done on that topic. The main thing is this whole risk and chance thing. I've been reading headline after headline in the space of, oh, well, red meat increases your risk of this, processed meat increases your risk of blank by blank percent. You cannot inform upon this BS. You can't do it because there are limitations. We've forgotten the definition of science, really. The definition of science actually now is completely, it's been broadened to include pseudo junk. Really, it's not pseudo junk, it just is junk, like this. Oh, it's just investigating the material universe or even the abstract universe. It's just investigation of the universe. Yeah, but also no, because theology also fits that definition. Science is more strict. Science requires experimentation. It requires control, therefore, because experimentation requires control. You cannot control for human beings, and therefore the entire space of human nutrition science is nothing but theology. And let me get this straight. Let me make this clear. Theology has a place. It really does. Sometimes you can't do anything except depend on this type of theology, the statistics, okay? But all of these studies are predicated upon assumptions. And if you know statistics, because I've studied it, and I'm not even done, frankly. There's plenty to learn because math is very intricate and convoluted. Okay, it's rich. Every single assumption that you make adds exponential error. Exponential error. To the point where you based a study off of 6 assumptions and the signal that you get, the result that you get is meaningless. It's less than meaningless. That's what all of this science is. You can't perform a true, proper nutrition experiment, study. It's not possible. It isn't. This is why the scientific community stresses, well, some of them, stresses the importance of repeatability of your results, or reproducibility. That's really what we should say. What is the result of trying to reproduce these results? And what is the aggregate signal to noise ratio? Okay, because that's what's important. And even then, signal to noise, mean plus or minus SD, standard deviation. You aggregate a bunch of those together, you're going to get a lot larger of noise. Because they still compound. The errors compound. They compound. So there's still limitations even with that. We need to start expanding our horizons and looking at other fields to determine what is and what is not indicated for our physiology. In the primary, the strongest theory in science regarding this is the theory of evolution. It is the Darwinian theory of evolution. Okay? That's the truth there. So we need to be looking at fields that can inform and give us stronger inferences about what we ought to be consuming, like comparative anatomy, chemical anthropology, observational paleoanthropology, biochemistry to some extent. Then you start getting reductionist even there. Okay. But I know it quite well. Fine. Cool. And when you start talking about calories, even just understanding how food works and all that stuff, and refuting the energy balance model of obesity and all this stuff, a completely fallacious, unfounded model. Seriously. Anti-physics. Actually. Anti-physics, not pro. It's not insistent upon physics. It's just anti-physics. Physics for calories and all that. The picture becomes abundantly clear. There's still some nuance, and I'm not denying that. You'll struggle to find someone in the carnivore space as objective as I am. At least I'd like to think that. Let's put it that way. It's because I actually enjoy nuance and I appreciate it and I like it. It makes things entertaining. It makes things intellectually stimulating for me. And I like that. So I actively seek it out. I don't try and avoid it. So I entertain the nuance, but even with that nuance, the picture is clear. The picture is clear. We need to exhibit some humility and stop talking with conviction about, especially this minor area of science, which isn't science, but theology. Theology. All right. There's a massive amount of people that conflate their opinions as fact. Their opinions are facts in their mind. The era of science is over. The era of doubting your hypotheses and putting them up to the hardest, most difficult of tests to test their fortitude. That era is over. The opposite is now in and has been for a long time, which is let's form a hypothesis that is ideologically driven or theologically driven and try and reinforce that ideology by performing science done in such a way so as to produce the result that we deem most favorable and conforms to our ideology and helps us beat people over the head with it like a stick. That's the era that we're in. So I'm trying to bring back the previous era as someone who thinks that way even on a personal level, who constantly tries to falsify my positions on everything. With that being said, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, leave your thoughts in the comment section below. What do you think about this? Do you share the sentiment? Be curious to see. And also, if you want to learn more about how I think in the first place and my opinions on this and what my positions are on diet and also science itself and how I'm actually not anti-science, I'm pro-science, I'm insisting upon the proper employment of the scientific method, I would encourage buying my book, Contrainidicated, a closer look and revision of mainstream health axioms that have perpetuated illness, disorder, and disease for over a century. If you've not bought that book already, second edition is out now. Link in the description below for paperback, hardcover, ebook, and self-narrated audiobook, because I'm all about authenticity on basically every platform that you can buy books from. And also, subscribe to the Patreon if you haven't already as well to gain access to 1 week early uploads, ad-free content, uncensored content, many past Patreon exclusive uploads, many antiquated videos that aren't even public and never were to begin with, and also an exclusive Discord server for Tier 3 members. And finally, the link on the bottom of the screen. What is that link? Well, that is a link that will bring you to an amazing site with amazing products from an amazing brand known as Cerule. If you purchase product through that link, you will get a permanent percentage discount and permanent free shipping when signing up for monthly deliveries. And if you email me behind the scenes at edgoki@pm.me, I can tell you how to earn those products for free, because who in their right mind wouldn't want that? But of course, I wouldn't recommend buying any product whatsoever, including these ones, if you don't know anything about them whatsoever. So fortunately for you, I have a video linked in the top right corner of the screen that talks about these products, what they do, who should take them, why you should take them, when to take them, etc., etc. And I'll also further migrate to the description below to find a video done on these products in further detail, as well as the company of Cerule itself, which I think is incredibly important if you are willing to make a contribution to them via a purchase through that link. So, with that being said, join me next time when we are reacting to someone that doesn't understand basic human physiology, doesn't understand science for sort of the reasons that I laid out here, or I'm monologuing and ranting about something else like I did here, or something else exciting. So, till then.